This next speaker spent 33 years in the military, retired as a colonel. He's former candidate for Florida governor and Florida United States Senate. Please welcome Col Mike McCalister.
All right, so how are we doing? Good, good. All right, what a fine-looking group of Americans, and it is a privilege and an honor to be here. And I got to ask, for those of you who consider yourself a concerned citizen, from an intrusive government infringing on your constitutional rights, from propaganda based on distorted misinformation, from the disbursement of biased and agenda-driven partial truths, from the ever-present factions in our government and society determined to undermine our great nation and place us in a position of vulnerability and weakness, for those who insist that we just roll over and let government take away our freedoms and even our right to defend ourselves and our loved ones, if this is you, my friends, you are in the right place today. We are not going to just roll over. We're not going to surrender our inalienable God-given rights. We're not going to stand idly by and watch this great nation be taken down. We're going to keep working hard, and together we will restore America to greatness, and we will protect our Second Amendment rights. And my name is Mike McCalister, and I'm a God-fearing, America-loving, flag-waving, conservative businessman and retired colonel, and I'm here with you today in this fight to take America back, and I plan on keeping my gun. Let there be no doubt, my friends, this is still the greatest nation on the planet. And America is the world's last true global military power and protector of freedom and democracy around the world. And as a retired colonel, I can proudly report to you that our fine military today is absolutely composed of the very best soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines in the world. And Washington must understand their mission and the wickedness of their enemies and fully support them and give them everything it takes to fight and win and survive in battle to protect our way of life. As an American, all this hogwash, you never need to go anywhere in the world and hang your head. This country has saved the entire free world as we know it today more than once, and with our most precious blood. And I think we're tired of this administration standing on foreign soil, bowing to Muslim kings, apologizing for who and what we are, and he is not going to take away our guns. Now, I'm sure, like many of you, I came from a military family. My dad was one of 3 sons, all in World War II. His middle brother had multiple Purple Hearts in the Pacific, and his oldest brother was killed aboard the USS South Dakota at the Battle of Guadalcanal. And I again want to recognize all of our veterans. Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force, wave your hands to us, please. Let there be no doubts, my friend, you are our nation's heroes. You know, we are just getting our second breath, and we're going to get our house in order, and we're going to clean up our business, and we are going to assume our rightful leadership role in this world among men and nations. Now, we hear all this garbage about keeping government and politics and religion separate. You know, my friends, when a government seems more intent on attacking we the people than solving our problems and keeping America strong, when a government progressively crosses the line and infringes on our inalienable God-given rights, continues to overreach its constitutional authority and force a socialistic agenda on this republic and its citizens, threatens our religious freedoms and the Judeo-Christian values that are at the very core of this great country, tries to enforce mandates such as Obamacare that attacks our religious freedoms and liberties, then this is a battle that must be fought by all of us together on all fronts. And let me assure you, my friends, God is not finished with America, and He is not finished with you. We have work to do, and we must all suit up in the entire armor of God and make sure we are fully deployed in this evilness and fight against it. Now, my vision for America may be somewhat like yours as we go forward. I want us to be strong, prosperous, safe, proud, and sovereign because we've earned it. I want us to have a strong economic future by getting government out of the way and letting our industry and our entrepreneurship prosper. And I want to protect all of our citizens' rights to own a gun and protect themselves and their families. You know, Winston Churchill, who was a pretty wise man, once said, Americans always do the right thing once they've exhausted every other option. And some days I understand that. And then Ronald Reagan came along and said it very, very well. You threaten us, we win, you lose. What we have got to do in America is get everyone on the same sheet. We have got to have a national unity and a comprehensive national security policy that brings to bear all assets and resources of national power into a unified effort where there is never a minute of any day that our enemies don't fear us and our true friends are standing with us. And we have to put the right people in office to get this done. We need a foreign policy that restores American pride, prestige around the world. We need a domestic policy here at home that protects the Constitution. We need a review process for judges that don't follow the rules and make up their own laws. We need effective homeland security that does protect our borders. We need to require a certified birth certificate to get a voter registration card, and we cannot allow Sharia law, courts, or banks in this nation. And to ensure our national sovereignty, and all of you that wore a uniform, I know you understand what I'm saying. We have got to have a military policy that absolutely continues to have the best military in the world. Our fine troops today represent the very best of who and what we are. And we've got to fulfill all the commitments made to our veterans and veterans' families. But our fine and proud military should only be used as a last result. Only after all other options have been exhausted. Only after a clear and present danger has clearly been identified and confirmed. Only after the instrument of force is the last result. And only after a complete and accurate analysis of the threat has been connected. Who are they? What are they? What do they got? How do they use it? What's their strengths? What their weaknesses? And then we need to make sure we establish a clear in-state vision of what the victory will look like. Well-defined military objectives so that the commanders know their job. And rules of engagement that level the playing field and take away unfair enemy advantages. And then we develop what we like to call a force package that brings to bear all of our elements into a full joint operation that completely dominates the entire battle space at all levels. Strategically, operationally, and tactically, in all environments, land, sea, and air. We keep our troops under the command of American leaders. We shape the battlefield, we command the op-tempo, and we dictate the outcome. And then we get the troops out with a well-designed exit strategy, and we should never again read or see on TV of the foreclosure on the homes of the families of our troops while they're overseas protecting our great nation. So let's bring this home. Where are we going to go from here? Well, as we know, we have got to stop this grinding down of America, and it's constant and it's by design. And all of us that took that oath, protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, then we need our judges and our Congress and our President to respect and defend the Constitution, and we have simply got to replace all of those who aren't doing what's right for our nation. We have got to stop this legislating from the Oval Office and the courtrooms. We got to take control of government with people that have one eye on God and one on their nation. Now, I sometimes got asked about the 2nd and the 10th Amendment, and maybe some of you have heard me say it. But we need a sign at every road, airport, and harbor entering our state. This is a 10th Amendment owned and operated state, and justice will be served in Florida with the 2nd Amendment. We have got to restore the family as the pillar of American society, protect the rights of unborn, and get God blessing our great nation again. We must keep the ownership of America in the hands of American citizens and out of the hands of the federal government, out of the hands of China, and out of the hands of the UN. We've got to stop. We have got to stop Agenda 21 in this one world concept. And we don't need anyone telling us how to raise our kids or trying to take away our Second Amendment rights. And maybe it's time to finally get rid of Janet Napolitano and get someone running Homeland Security that understands what that job is all about. You know, we've got to make sure that we get the National Labor Relations Board out of the business of telling our companies where they can have their states. Maybe get rid of the U.S. Department of Education and EPA and return that to the states. We have got to stop this dumbing down of America and get back to the values and the principles that made this the greatest country on earth. We need the pride of American history, the teaching of the Constitution, that flag, and the Pledge of Allegiance back in our schools for our youngsters. We have got to stop this political correctness and coddling of radical Islamic extremists and terrorists. They want to kill us, and it can't be tolerated. We must fully support Israel in the fight against terrorist aggression. And we should never issue a building permit for a mosque on sacred soil stained with the blood of innocent Americans from a terrorist attack. Well, my friends, you know, I'm going to close with a quote from my favorite president, Ronald Reagan. For those who do not believe freedom has to be protected. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. This is still the land of the free, the home of the brave, and one nation under God. And those proud stars and stripes have never run scared from anyone or anything. And I don't know about you, but I don't think there's a chance that we're going to let it start now on our watch. We must keep this great nation strong, safe, proud, prosperous, and free, and stop all those who want to give it away or take it away, and failure is simply not an option. Americans have always found a way to fight and win, and we will again together. You and you and you and you and me. We are still the shining city on the hill. Our best days are still ahead. I want to thank you for allowing me to be with you today, my friends, and may God bless each of you, and may God bless these United States of America. Thank you.